Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Manager 2017 with Newcastle United, and today we are kicking off with a game at Goodison Park. Our schedule for today is looking a little bit lighter than it has been recently. We've got Everton away in the league, then Leicester away in the AFL Cup quarter-final. I'd quite like to make the semi-finals of that competition. We then have West Ham at home, a game that I would expect us to win. PSV is a match that doesn't matter. We already won our group in the Champions League despite it containing PSV, Real Madrid and Juventus. And then we'll finish up the games against Hull, who are 20th, and Aston Villa, who are 12th. So I'm hoping that we can get 4 league wins out of the next 4 matches. Everton away is probably the most difficult one. If we can get anything from that game, I'd be happy. We are in a 6-match unbeaten run, 4 wins in a row, followed up by 2 draws. So I'm hoping we can get something a little bit more out of today's game. I don't want 3 draws, and I certainly don't want to lose now. I have tweaked the tactic a little bit based on the suggestions that were made in the comments recently. A few people pointed out the team is not quite symmetrical now. I don't want it to be entirely symmetrical, but I have agreed with people that having an inside forward and a winger maybe isn't the most cohesive sort of unit. So I've switched the left flank to a winger player role. So Origi is actually going to start on the left flank for us today because he can play on that left wing side and he is a better goal scorer than some of our other left wingers. So I'm hoping he'll be able to chip in today. But that also creates a chance for Z Gomez to lead the line up front. He's been playing quite well recently and definitely deserves a chance. So I'm hoping that he can get us a goal or 2 over the next couple of games and prove his worth as Newcastle's number 9. Immobile cutting inside from the left flank for Everton. He's found Williams in on goal, but Ketchel makes a good stop. Immobile finds Williams. Cook's managed to get the ball, and he's released Z Gomez on the left side. He's cutting across, goes for goal. What an effort from Z Gomez. I said he deserved to start, and that is why. What a strike that was. Z Gomez. He's got players free. Origi touches it into Kovacic. It's a good counter-attacking move. Can he pull it back across? He goes himself and Jimenez saves. Z Gomez steps inside the defender. He's managed to hold up the ball, but Serge Aurier's won a good tackle. Now Mkhitaryan over the top for Hesse. Jones is there with a header. And Origi's managed to hold it for us. We've only got a couple of minutes left to see out, but I'm a little bit nervous at this highlight. Here's Origi on the attack. I'll be happy with him shooting tamely wide. Instead, he's pulled it back for Lucas, who sends it across. It's cleared away. Not over yet. Cook still got it. Finds Lucas for another chance. Beats the tackle brilliantly. Goes past another player. Pulls it in and Z Gomez heads it wide. Last second corner taken by Pulisic. Away by Jones. Hesse tries to get there. Can he pump the ball in one more time? Being closed down, but he does send it in and Ketchel claims. And that should be a vital 3 away points for the team. We've beaten Everton at Goodison Park, got 3 more points on the board, and set ourselves up well for the rest of this episode. There's just a few changes to the team for this match against Leicester in the AFL Cup quarter-final. We do want a few fresh legs out there, especially with another league game at the weekend. So Origi's moved up to the centre of the front 3 with Correa coming in on the left flank, Sane out on the right. Alexander-Arnold comes in defensive midfield with Meligoni replacing Kovacic. Then it's Rahman, Lucas, Mamana and Chambers as usual with Ketchel in goal. Kongolo's throw finds Frayne. Looking to get the ball in Leicester. Instead they send it back to midfield. Now Thill still trying to find an opening. Ball in to Thill, but good save by Ketchel. Babarahman loses out to Danny Drinkwater, and Lucas with a poor header to Kuki, who does score. That's a couple of poor headers and balls through in the last minute that have really cost us. We could have taken a lead if Origi had been allowed through, and instead Leicester benefit from our poor header back and get the lead. Correa to Rabiot. Ball runs for Meligoni. Just hanging on to it a bit too long. Does get the pass out eventually. Now Origi has a bit of space. Needs to shift the ball on. He does to Sane. There's Meligoni to Rabiot. Ball chipped over to Sane. It's nice play and a nice finish from Leroy Sane to make it 1-1. Kuki gives it away to Chambers. Now he can build from the back. Jones tries to send it forward, but it's given the ball straight back to Leicester, and Helder Costa in a good area on the right wing hits the base of the post. Grealish with the corner. In towards Congolo, and Melagoni has committed a foul there. He had a high foot, I think, which has allowed Leicester a penalty on the 101st minute. Kuki, to get his second of the game, does score. It's a well-taken penalty. The keeper went the right way, but he couldn't stop it going in. Late chance, free kick from Sterling goes in, and Campbell clears it away, but there's a penalty in there. There's a handball, apparently. It hit Diaz's arm, and we have a chance to make it all square from the penalty spot. It's going to be Melagoni to take the penalty, and he does score it. It's 2-2. 2 penalties in extra time may take us to penalties. Well, it's a drama of penalties now. Melagoni has just scored one and then misses the first penalty of this shootout. ND carrying a knock. Does score. It wasn't a good penalty, but the keeper stayed in the middle. Youngster Alexander Arnold does score. It's a well-taken penalty in the bottom corner to bring us level. Nguene. Oh, he's hit the post, and we're all level after 2 penalties each. Divock Origi could do with a penalty from him, and he hammers it hard and low, bottom left. Kuki already scored 1 penalty. Oh, and he scores that one too. I was hoping he'd miss that just as Melagoni did. Mamana. Oh, hammers that into their top corner. I was a bit worried when he hit that. Pressure all on Palencia now. He can't really afford to miss. And he does. It's well saved by Ketchel. And Leroy Sané, probably our best player, finishes it and sends us to the semi-finals. Well, after effectively scraping through in our last 2 away games against Everton and Leicester, we're hoping to keep up the good form at home against West Ham. It's still a pretty strong team out there, but it's also a pretty tired team. Z Gomez is going to lead the line, with Sterling having to start on the left flank. Sane is going to have to start on the right, despite only being at 88% condition. Rabiot, Kovacic and Cook are back in their rightful places. Rahman, Lucas and Mamana continue, but Keane has come in at right back for a very tired Callum Chambers. Koric has got a free kick and it's gone straight in, and there might have been a deflection on that. Ketchel was just under the ball and couldn't keep it out, which is a little bit disappointing, and we've fallen behind very early on. Mamana looking to try and get a quick equaliser if we can. Sane driving at the defence but shoots straight at Sevillar. Corner from Kovacic into the near post. Lucas is there, and Lucas has managed to glance a header in. It's his first goal for the club, and it brings us back on terms. Breen, the dangerous young English striker, finds Koric. He puts it out to Obiang, and that's a good finish across the goalkeeper into the far post, and West Ham are back in front. Raheem Sterling's managed to get the ball. He puts it across. Sane's there. He sends it back in, and there's Rabiot with the header, but it's just gone wide of the post. Melagoni trying to chip it over. Instead, Joel Campbell's going to run against us, and it's Breen who's been played in, and Breen with an excellent finish. He is a very clinical striker, his 8th of the season, and that will be a home defeat for us against West Ham for sure. There is a full-time whistle, and that is an embarrassing defeat at the hands of West Ham in front of our own fans at St James's Park. And we are really, really dropping off the pace now. If Liverpool and Spurs both win, we'll be 6 points off the top 4. Well, I feel like we're in quite a bit of a rut at the moment, not just from the last game, but across the season, and really the end of last season. We've really been struggling to hit any kind of consistent form. So I'm going for a little bit of a Hail Mary in this free hit against PSV Eindhoven. I'm going to rest a lot of players, but I'm also going to switch back to the very original Scholes can't tackle tactic. Because if you look at the difference between this tactic and the tactic that I've been using, it is actually quite a lot of positions that have changed. And it means that the team maybe won't be playing as fluid as it could be. So I'm hoping that by reverting to the original tactic, we might be able to get the players to play as a more cohesive unit. Even though they aren't the best players in these positions, so a lot of them are only sort of missing 3 segments from their full capability in the role. I'm hoping that the tactic will add more value than the individual players will, in their specific roles. And if that is the case, I will stick with this tactic for the time being as a kind of emergency measure, because if we continue to languish down in 8th place for much longer in the league, my job will start to be open to question. You can see the board confidence is already dropping. We're now 4 points off the Champions League, which doesn't sound like much, but we were meant to be going after the title this season. So there is work to do. I'm hoping this tactic change will work. It's completely overhauled the team itself. So we've got Musqui leading the line with Ojo and Orr on the wings. We've got Rabiot partnered by Slattery, and then we've got Alexander-Arnold behind him. And then Rahman, Lucas, Mamana and Pinheiro make up the back four. Ketchel continues in goal because we don't really have another goalkeeper who could come in. Corner from Rabiot into the near post and cleared away. Alexander-Arnold is chasing after it, and he does get there first. Now Pinheiro finds Slattery. He's looking to cut inside, and there's Ojo. Good tackle. Rabiot picks up the ball though. Sends it out wide to Rahman, who tries to put it in. PSV hitting all the bodies on the line at the moment. It's Slattery to Rabiot. Now Alexander-Arnold. Just looking to pick that pass, and there it is, over the back to Rahman. He can send in the cross. It comes to Admiral Musqui, who puts us ahead. Scott Orr running down the right flank. Defenders have left him to keep going. He sends it across, and Musqui's there to tap it home. It's an assist for Scott Orr and a second goal for Admiral Musqui. Well, our second string side has managed to win this Champions League game 2-0. They were never really threatened. It's an absolutely brilliant performance from the team. Also means we finish with 16 points in the Champions League group of death. Absolutely phenomenal distraction being offered by the Champions League. After the very good performance by our second 11 in the Champions League, I am deciding to keep this tactic for the league match away against Hull. They are bottom of the league. I would expect us to win this, but if we can win it by a few goals with this tactic, it's probably a sign that something is going wrong with the Newcastle tactic. So there's quite a few changes to the team. Gomez, Origi and Sane are going to lead the line with the same sort of midfield and defence as usual. Lucas is going in at left back with Baba Rahman missing this game through suspension, and Keane comes in to the centre to fill Lucas's gap. Now you might notice something about Michael Keane, and it's that he's got a transfer symbol next to him. So there's a bit of business going on at the moment, which if you take a look at, you'll see what it is. Not on that page, but on this page. So Phil Jones has been sold. He's going to move to Barcelona for £13 million. He's 30 years old and he was getting unhappy at not having playing time. And Michael Keane is similarly 29 years old, and he was also complaining about playing time. So I thought rather than try and fit them into the team at a time where we're struggling a bit for results, I'd let them go and try to bring in another defender who is younger than them and has ability to really develop. I've not found that defender yet. I'm still looking for him, but I'm confident I'll get him in before we start the January window. But I have also managed to sign another player, and that is Morten Simonsen from Napoli. He's cost me £27 million, but he is a very good player. As you can see, rated 4 stars, possibly 5. He's a complete forward, which is nice, but he can also play as the poacher. He's got 17 for finishing, 16 dribbling, 15 first touch. Heading is all brilliant, and so is his physical stats. They're pretty good too. Vision, work rate, teamwork, all very high. Determination, not as high as I would like, but still quite good. Composure, brilliant. I think he's the all-round package that we've been looking for up front. It's been a while since we had a striker really hot form. Origi a couple of seasons ago did very well when we finished second in the league, but it's been a while since then, and he's not quite hit the same heights. Z Gomez is showing potential, but I think he's another season or two away from being a top quality player, and I think Admiral will always just be there in the background. He's never going to push the first team. So that's just a few bits to let you know about. Obviously, I'll let you look at him in more detail when we do sign him. And I'm still looking to bring in a centre-back, if we can, a top quality one who can compete with Lucas and Mamana. But let's jump into this match against Hull and see if this tactic is really working for us. Origi, cutting in from that left flank, still got the ball. Now Rabiot plays it over the top for Lucas. Could he send in an early cross? Instead, he pulls it back to Kovacic. And here's Leroy Sane to Z Gomez. And that's the kind of strike that he knows how to do. He loves a good effort from the edge of the box, and it's put us in front. There is a full-time whistle. It might not be a absolutely exceptional victory, but it's still a win in the league, and I will take any kind of win we can get right now. It closes the gap to 1 point on the top four, which is what we need. Liverpool can extend that gap, but we're still keeping pace at the moment, and that's the main thing. I think if we can string together a few good wins in the league, we'll put ourselves in a much better position. Here is the draw for the Champions League knockout stage. As you can see, we did finish as group winners, but there are some very dangerous teams in the unseeded group, mainly Bayern and Barcelona. I think everybody else we can handle. Obviously, we will avoid Juventus just because they were in our group. So let's get the draw underway. And there is Barcelona, but they get Zenit. Inter Milan wouldn't be bad, but they go to PSG. Dortmund to Porto. Monaco with us. That is fine by me. I think we can beat Monaco without too much trouble. Barcelona should probably go through. PSG should come through that quite easily, as should Dortmund and us. That will be quite a big tie between Bayern and Atletico. Tottenham should have easy passage, as should United, and then it's Juve or City. So it's not too bad a group of teams going through there. We are actually in with a decent chance of progressing, possibly past the quarterfinals. But the main thing is actually getting past Monaco. I don't think we've made it to the quarterfinals of this competition since I've been manager, if ever. So it'd actually be really good if we could manage to do that this time round. For the final match of this episode, we're still sticking with the same tactic that we switched to that delivered us 2 wins on the bounce. If it gives us 3, I think we can be pretty confident that something is going wrong with the original tactic. If you have any ideas as to what, do let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to hear your advice. But for this match, there's not too many changes. Correa is finally getting back into the team on the left wing with Divock Origi starting up top. Everywhere else is pretty much as it was before. Keane has come in for Mamana because he's suspended, but I think we should be able to cut them across Aston Villa pretty easily. They're not that good a team, but they are doing pretty well at the moment. They're in mid-table, but 3 points for us would be a huge help as always. Lopez back to Bardu. Now Etzkaberia into Crivelli. Sunu across to Crivelli. Lopez back to Badu. I think we're at danger of going behind here. We have been dominating early on, but only takes one attack. And there's Lopez out to Sunu. He'll be able to put it across. And Brady's unmarked to head home. And I had a feeling that was coming. And we are 1-0 down. Origi finds Sane. He's running past a few players. Still going Sane on his own. Good save from Galini again. Chambers heads it on to Sane. Now Rabiot. Out wide to Chambers. His shot is ricocheted. Sane into the middle for Cook. Rabiot to Origi, who hits the inside of the post, but it doesn't go in. It's cleared away, and we just can't get that ball in the net. Just about 10 minutes left for us to try and save something from this game. It's so frustrating at the moment. Chambers puts it in. Cleared back out. He'll try again. It comes for Correa. Now Scott Orr for Chambers. Sends it in and see Gomez. Galini's there again. He is on fire. Babaraman trying to build from the back. He sends it over with a great diagonal ball to Scott Orr. He's charging into the box and he's shot into the side netting. Well, there it is. We've lost at home to blooming Aston Villa. That's the second time in a row we've lost to Aston Villa. And it's also the second time in a row that we've lost at home in the league. And I honestly don't know what to do. We've tried changing the tactic and I just don't think it's working. There's not been an impressive performance in there. And I think it ultimately is coming down to the fact that our players are just not good enough. It's a very tight league this season, even after that defeat and the one against West Ham. We're still only 4 points off Chelsea, who are fourth. But I just don't know what's going on. Manchester United are clearly going to run away with the league this year. I think they've got too strong a team. And we just haven't been getting the transfer budgets to really impact the squad. And that's the biggest problem, I think, is that every other big team is spending 100 million, sort of 200 million in the summer, really strengthening their team, especially the year before they win the title. And we've just been offered that transfer budget. I think it's because we use the 48-month option in the payments, which obviously decreases the amount of money you have in subsequent years. And that's how we funded our growth into the Champions League places. But now that's starting to bite us a bit, and we're struggling to get to the next step. So I think the sort of way past the rut lies in getting young players in. And getting them cheap. But that means it's going to be another couple of years before we come full circle and are able to challenge the top four again. So quite a lot for me to think about. Let me know your thoughts on this issue as well, and what you think maybe I should try doing next. Different things I could maybe try to do, because there's no way we should be losing at home to Aston Villa and West Ham. And it's really demotivating to see it happen. But I think that will be all for this episode. We'll just have a look at who we'll be playing next time out. Obviously, we're going to start at home against Arsenal, which is just going to be a heck of a lot of fun on our current form. But then we do have 2 games against Norwich, 1 in the FA Cup. We're playing Manchester United away as well. It's not going to be the best of episodes, really. 3 away games. And then at home against Wolves and Norwich. But we'll have to see how we can get on. January transfer window does open at the end of next episode, so hopefully we can get some decent business done and bring in some new players. But that will be all for this episode. If you've enjoyed the slog that this season is turning into, do drop a like on the video. If you want to see if we can get out of this rut and climb back up the table, do subscribe to the channel for daily updates. But until next time, see ya.